before we start the show, um, there are a few spoilers for Harold and Maude, Rudy, Empire Strikes Back, and Star Wars The Last Jedi. And with that said, enjoy the show. Welcome to Best Most. I'm your host, Jose Jogo Gonzalez. This is the podcast where we ask the questions, what is the best or what is the most? For example, we ask questions like, who is an actor or actress who most consistently kills it in the roles they play? Or, what are the best lyrics ever written? Before each episode, I ask our online community a question that our guests had chosen as our topic. I then go over the community answers with our guests. We also discuss our own answers. You can check out and answer the questions on the best.most.pod Instagram page. Join the conversation. Now, today's guests, we welcome back a co-founder of a free quarterly film race called Breakneck. He also directs and edits films. He's a good dude. Welcome back to Best Most, Matthew Bauer. What's up, Matt?
Hey, Jose. How you doing?
I'm good.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. And as always, our guest chooses a question for the show conversation. Our question for this episode is, what is the most iconic movie? Matt Bauer, what made you choose this question?
Oh, gosh. Oh, boy. So, most iconic movie. All right. First things first, I am agnostic on a good day. So, if I say anything that is religiously controversial with my next statement, I'm sorry, but not sorry. I associate most iconic movie, this particular one, with like, you know how there's the birth of Christ and how he was such a big deal. He created a divide in how we interpret time of like BC and AD. That's what I see this particular film as, and that's how I've seen it and viewed it. It's I guess as far as like a teenager. There was before this film came out and after, and that's just not related to how it's shaped me, but also how it's like shaped the industry, nay, the world. So
interesting. Do you have any community picks for this one?
I have a couple. My dad did not get back to me in time, but I just know in his heart of hearts what his answer is, and I did want to give it a shout out. I'm sure he would have said Rudy, starring Sean Ashton, I believe. It's the football player movie where the he's like too scrawny or whatever in order to like really compete, and then they have that big moment where like everyone else on the team puts their jerseys on the coach's desk, being like, "I'm not playing if Rudy's not playing" or whatever. And I mean, it was funny enough. They did a parody of that in Newsroom in a somewhat tasteful manner. But yeah, I haven't seen Rudy either, but it's a big deal to him, so figure I'd mention that. What do you got?
Wait, you haven't seen Rudy before?
Not really, no, except for that scene. Is it good?
Man, that's such a good movie. It's one of those movies that it's pretty bleak. It's bleaker than you would expect.
Really?
Yeah, and it's very well written. But yeah, I would recommend it. And I believe we talked about it very shortly in a previous episode. I think one of the first episodes.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah. With Stephen Joseph Craig, our mutual friend.
Shout out to Stephen Joseph Craig. Shout out to brightcorefilms.com.
There you go.
That's his film website.
SoCal basis. He chose Jurassic Park. He said it's groundbreaking visual effects that still holds up. Very quotable and great storytelling.
I couldn't agree more. I think it is. Someone made the correlation or asked a rhetorical question of why does nobody talk about Jurassic World? You know, how it just doesn't hold up in a way Jurassic Park does, and how maybe deviating away from that branding probably didn't do itself any favors, I suppose.
No comment.
Have you not watched them?
No, I've watched every Jurassic Park movie.
Oh, okay.
I literally, I have. I just might not want to talk about it this moment.
Oh, okay, noted.
So do you have another pick?
Yeah. So Malcolm picked Home Alone, and for good reason. I think
Yeah.
that is a wonderful Christmas classic that has Macaulay Culkin really at his, I would say at his finest, but honestly, Home Alone 2 is also a banger. A lot of great moments with Joe Pesci in both of them. And just all the quotes. I think I'd be quoting the second one more with that movie that he always plays on the TV, right? Keep the change, you filthy animal.
That was pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Nailed it.
Yeah. Also, Joe Pesci might show up on this list a little later too. Not on
Oh,
not on my picks, but other picks.
okay. Noted.
So, Optical Jedi chose Seven Samurai for inspiring so many reinventions of the same story. He also chose Jurassic Park for launching the CGI revolution in filmmaking.
Nice. I mean, those are all legitimate answers. I still need to finish Seven Samurai, but everyone who's talked about it has nothing
Yeah.
but good things to say.
Yeah, one of my coworkers was gifted that from one of our patients because I work at an optometry office, and we are supposed to all share it. So I'm waiting for my turn.
Nice. Let me find a Criterion edition or
Yeah, yeah,
oh, sick. Okay.
yeah.
DVD or Blu-ray?
Blu-ray.
Ooh, okay. All right. You
Yeah.
fancy. My lovely wife Deandra says Total Recall is the most iconic film.
That's a good one.
It is. I don't think she's going to watch. She's not much of a podcast listener. I didn't say that to knock this, but
Son of a
she
bitch.
doesn't. She
No, just
doesn't.
kidding.
She doesn't. I don't think she knows that I didn't stay awake for it. I have a bad habit sometimes to fall asleep watching things. And I sat there with her watching it, and like I do this terrible thing where I'm like I try not to lean too much on her, else she knows. I try to like keep the eyes open just enough. But I do need to rewatch that film. It seems really cool.
It's good. Yeah, it's classic. There's a remake of it with Colin Farrell, and I don't like to be negative, but watch the original one for sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
I heard actually I remember when they launched the trailer for the remake of Total Recall. It was a frame for frame match, I think, of like
Really?
of the trailer at least, of like all the story beats they used in both versions. I thought it was creative, but marketing only gets you so far. So
Yeah. Also, Ricardo Peralta, he said the full movie, Harold and Maude for so completely encapsulating the 70s, First Blood for nailing the 80s, even so far as the anti-war message being totally missed, so very 80s, The Matrix for redefining film aesthetics and marketing.
Matrix, yeah, that's definitely an iconic film. Shoot, yeah, I almost, if I didn't have my top pick, I might have picked that one actually. That's pretty solid. I didn't see those other two. What were the first two?
First one was Harold and Maude.
I remember the trailer for that. That's like the younger dude who has a crush on the older lady or whatever.
Yeah, he totally hooks up with her.
Yeah. Interesting.
And then First Blood, a Rambo movie.
Yes, Rambo. Gotcha. I haven't seen that one yet either, but I assume it's good. I assume it's great.
Do you have another choice or another pick?
I don't. How about you?
Okay. The _best_ Hank chose Showgirls.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
With
Elizabeth
Destiny's Child? Oh. Showgirls. That doesn't have the Destiny Child like Beyonce in it? Or
No, that's
Dreamgirls.
Dreamgirls, yes.
Showgirls, I'm
Very
not
different
familiar
movie.
with that. Okay, gotcha.
I think it's Elizabeth Berkley and Gina Gershon are
Okay.
Vegas Showgirls.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I love going to Vegas.
No Mercy, Dojo, LB. His choice is a movie called Sorry, the most Long Beach flick ever made. Never seen it, but I'm sure
No.
it's good.
Okay.
Mr. Sam Slick said, continuing on my Eraserhead rant, because he was a guest before, and I believe we went into Eraserhead. I said, continuing on my Eraserhead rant, it was his referring to David Lynch's movie and showed a perfectly formed and perfectly weird, setting the stage for his whole career while making some unforgettable characters and scenes. So Eraserhead is his choice. What are your thoughts on David Lynch?
You know, I haven't seen enough of him, but apparently I could do a half decent impression of him. I'm just trying to think of what would something be relevant to say. Nothing really comes to mind, but the thing you have to remember is if you don't meditate every day, you'll never reach that utopian vision that is always haunting your mind, you see.
That's very accurate.
Oh, it is? Okay, I feel like a butcher.
No, that was good. That was good.
Oh, cool. Thank you. No, I've seen Eraserhead though. I did see Blue Velvet in high school for a class project, and I'm ashamed to say that is everything I've seen of David Lynch.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think we went into David Lynch before, as far as on my end. So if you
Hmm.
guys want to hear my thoughts on it, listen to past episodes. But yeah, Eraserhead's a good one. Stephen Joseph Craig, he
Ooh.
he chose Citizen Kane and Seven Samurai and Jaws all come to mind. That's what he said.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, Jaws is definitely iconic. That I think that was one of like the founding fathers of the blockbuster, if I'm
Oh,
not mistaken, or somebody says it. I don't know how true that is, but it is a great film. Citizen Kane. Gosh, it's like, did you ever see Mank?
no, I haven't seen it.
Okay, all right. I don't know how accurate it is to what really happened, but it like follows the Mankiewicz who wrote Citizen
Mm.
Kane or like co-wrote it or whatever. So like it's interesting drawing the parallels with that context to it, knowing very little about the film. I still haven't seen the entirety of that film, but everyone in film school is obsessed with it.
Edro de Carmona, he chose Goodfellas. It shows what makes a life in the mob enticing. One
Hmm.
of Scorsese's best for me, it would be Ferris Bueller's Day Off because it's every teenager's dream. So he chose Goodfellas and Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Good movies. Good
Yeah,
movies. I would say, oh man, I'm like in the tiny minority that likes Casino a little more than Goodfellas, but maybe it's more so because of the setting. I don't know.
I'm in between. I really either movie if they're on, I'm gonna watch the whole movie. Unfortunately,
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be the worst way to kill 2.5 hours, at least, right?
true, true, true.
Yeah.
Don Juan Estrada said, "I think Back to the Future."
Mm,
Solid choice.
yeah. That was there for me. I think as early as like age 4 or 5, I'd say. Or the
Yeah.
third movie at least. I was exposed to that one before the first two.
Really?
Yeah, because I loved trains a lot as a kid, so I think they
Oh,
were just like, just give him this trains on this one, just subject him to the trains.
wait.
Um,
I know you're younger than me. I know for sure.
I'm gonna turn 38 in July,
Okay.
so I'm 37 now. How old are you?
I'm close. No, I'm 40. I'm 44.
Oh wow, okay. Yep, not a day over 36. I'll tell you that much.
Moisturizer, dude, and lighting.
Yeah, I got to work on that, the moisturizer game.
Jason chose "Singing in the Rain." It's
Mhm.
classic. It's a classic movie about classic movies. It is a classic and iconic movie.
That scene is a classic and iconic, where he's singing in the rain. That's about all I
Literally.
know about it. Yeah, literally. Oh, that's a good one.
Nina chose Red Dragon, Seven, Primal Fear, because of the twist. Edward Norton did a fantastic job. The Seven twist is iconic. Red Dragon is iconic for the performances.
Red Dragon, that's the one with Hannibal Lecter, right?
Yeah, so it's a part of the Hannibal Lecter series, but also Philip Seymour Hoffman is in it.
Ooh, I do love Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah,
He's
that
I
movie's really good.
gosh, easily the greatest actor humanity has ever had to offer. Um, what was the other one? Oh, Seven, right?
Seven and Primal Fear. Have you seen Primal Fear?
No, I'm not sure
Oh,
what that is.
dude, that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that twist in that movie is insane. And it's starring Edward Norton.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. I just saw a thumbnail of it now. Interesting. Yeah, my folks love Richard Gere. Apparently, he used
Mhm.
to live not too far from my folks growing up.
Oh, that's cool.
Never met him. My brother did though. But as far as Seven goes, good twist.
Yeah.
Gotta appreciate that.
Let's see. So Veronica chose Star Wars.
Interesting.
uh, My cousin Greg chose Shawshank Redemption,
Mm.
Casino, Goodfellas, and Scarface.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yep. A Casino fan. There we
Yeah.
go. Still need to see Scarface.
I've seen some of it, and it's a lot more 80s than I would have hoped for, like
Yeah.
music-wise. Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, that's always a hard pill to swallow. I'm not a big fan of 80s music, to be quite frank.
I like it, but I think it's just there's a song called Take It to the Limit on there. It's like, take
Hmm.
it to the limit. Yeah.
It's
But
just like a montage of him
yeah.
Breaking Bad or whatever.
Yeah, and it's really cheesy, but
Hmm.
great acting. Carlos Morales chose iconic movies. He said Hedwig and the Angry Inch. I would recommend it. Really good.
Hmm.
Alex Paz chose Star Wars, and then
Mm.
yeah. So
Okay.
at this time, I'd say let's go into your pick, Matt Bauer. What is the most iconic movie?
The most iconic movie. It has to be, for a multitude of reasons, 1977's birth of Star Wars, directed by none other than George Lucas, a pioneer in his own right with filmmaking. The thing about Star Wars is that where do I even begin? Like he had such like high hopes from the get go. Of creating the space opera, this allegory for the war and the empires. But beyond that, there was so many genius moves that he was playing in the background, and not just so much with the story, but like where he wanted to take his career next. And that being in order to do all the crazy ambitious art house things or to even pursue Star Wars, he told this to the studios, I think it was 20th Century Fox that picked it up, that he wanted merchandising rights to Star Wars. And I believe he was foregoing the pretty much ownership of the films
Really?
in exchange for that. I'd have to double check, but I think that's where the trade off was. And back in 1975, 76, 77, when he was making it, 20th Century Fox didn't think anything of it. They probably thought this was going to be an indie flop.
Yeah.
And there was enough hardships and heartache that has been recorded and logged in so many novels about the production of it that it easily could have just gone, it sounded like it was in the vein of stress of perhaps Apocalypse Now, but maybe not as hard as being in the rivers all the time. But,
Yeah.
it's like one challenge after another. And yet he managed to come out on top with not my favorite Star Wars film, but
Okay.
it was the one that really just changed everything in motion. With that film's success, even though it did take a bit of a hiatus in the 80s and most of the 90s, I think it left such a strong impression on children growing up in that era. I was exposed to it when I was like 7 or 8, around like 1996 or 7.
Uh-huh.
So like about a year before the special editions came out. And for me, like I could just give you my impressions, which was like, the moment I see Imperial Walkers, which is from the second film, Empire
Uh-huh.
Strikes Back, there's something about that specific toy that just kind of rewired my brain into thinking like, this is the coolest shit ever. I want to get all these toys, and who's the one who owns the merchandising rights? That's right, George Lucas. So he ends up making stupid money off of this
Yeah.
brand. And enough so where I think I don't know if he ever bought back the rights to the Star Wars films, but I mean, he felt cocky enough to make a prequel trilogy, which people people can give it slack. I think all criticism is valid to a
Uh-huh.
degree, but one thing that it did do that I couldn't appreciate as a kid was the fact that it was pushing the envelope of technology to a point where it never, reached such a threshold before, and part of that is due to just like Industrial Light and Magic, which was the visual effects department that he
Uh-huh.
made back in the day for the original Star Wars, and he used projects like Young Indiana Jones to expand that even further. I don't know when that project came out, but it was definitely before the prequels. And the reason I express such admiration for that pioneering spirit is that now that we come to 2018, 2019, and you have The Mandalorian, which is now taking advantage of these amazing backdrops that are like there it's like a mile difference between a green screen and a canvas painting,
Yeah.
where now you can like the cameras can interact with you, your depth of field can adjust based on if the camera's tapped into the background. Sure, it's not as invigorating as a real set for the actors, but it certainly goes much further than everyone just standing in a green screen looking around being like, and then there's a battle droid, go shoot that down. And I will always have I always will wish that Star Wars will eventually go back to the roots of like having physical ships in their shots, like the dogfights.
Yeah.
Uh, but I think looking back on it, those types of technologies that have reached such a tasteful threshold were in part, a major part, due to Lucas's boldness to create. And if not for nothing, ironically, coming back full circle, we talked last week about Andor. That
Mhm.
was last week, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and how that was a very practical set, and how it feels like that got everything right about Star Wars that I think adults like you and me really did appreciate, that felt gritty and real about the original trilogy. And it took a while to really nail that formula, but none of this ever would have happened, along with some of the most iconic scenes ever in film, such as the revelation of Vader being Luke's father, spoiler. It wouldn't have happened without Star Wars in 1977.
Yeah, it's kind of funny you mentioned Andor right now and being a little bit more mature and everything too. I think it almost seems like we, as a generation, or again, we're a different age gap, but with the after a certain generation, we kind of pulled Star Wars with us. It kind of grew with us, and everything that we're watching now is our generation's continuation of the story, right? But I don't think it's as much for kids anymore. Like
Mm,
I think you watch like something like Ninja Turtles or something like that. Those the
yeah,
newer movies that are Michael Bay directed or whatever. It's
yeah,
like it's a part of like a grouping of like movies, cartoons, everything that we kind of brought with us, right?
sure,
And Star Wars is Andor is like proof of that. It's like a very mature Star Wars story.
it's true. It's not necessarily for a lack of trying, though, to be fair, because
Uh,
you did have Skeleton Crew. I think that was aimed for like kids or the fans of like the Stranger Things type show.
Kind of a Goonies meets Star Wars.
Yeah, yeah. I think I do genuinely think in some ways kids may have been shafted with even though like Star Wars at face value is outside of the allegory, like it's not the most like complex trilogy of films. It's just well crafted. It's pretty straightforward. But like knowing that whenever people are coming off as like derivative works such as like the sequel trilogy, like I feel bad for them in that sense, because they're like, oh, they think this is good. And not
Oh,
to be too mean, but
wait, do you mean the ones with what's her name? The
Ray,
newer. Oh yeah,
yeah,
I didn't mind those. I
yeah.
visually, you're like,
No, no, no. Let's get it. Let's air it out. I'm down.
no, I think visually they're beautifully done. I mean, especially
Hmm.
the Ryan Johnson
Yeah,
one. Was it Last Jedi or
The
was
Last
it?
Jedi. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
it.
think beautifully done.
Hmm.
I don't think a lot of people enjoyed it, but I enjoyed it, and
Hmm.
except for that whole like hunky part where Kylo Ren's
Oh,
taking off his shirt and stuff. That's kind of weird.
oh yeah. He's so swole and like wide, and I'm like, was caught off guard there.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey,
Um,
girl."
and there's some
I
cool
just,
things there.
I think they're okay.
Hmm.
I think they should have been a little bit more cohesive. But if you really think about the original series, it wasn't quite cohesive. They just did a
Hmm.
better job of piecing it together.
That's true. To be fair, because Lucas saw nothing but dollar signs, I think, by the time. Also, Empire Strikes Back was very expensive to make, and I think he really just was wanting, he being Lucas, wanted to kind of, even though he had like a 9 film vision for this series, he did want to like, all right, we got to wrap this up now with a
Yeah.
third one. And I know that I think it's been stated on the record. I think Gary Kurtz has said in interviews, the producer of the original trilogy, that while they wanted to pursue that darker tone of Empire Strikes Back for the finale, which I personally would have loved that. Um, but Lucas insisted that it like they needed to push the merch, they needed to make it kid friendly, and I think that created some, I don't think I caught on to these as a kid, but there's some content, there's some tonal continuity errors, I think,
Yeah.
with where they landed with Return of the Jedi. I think I still might like it more than the first Star Wars, though, because it
Mhm.
does have a conclusive statement to it. But yeah, and to be fair, there are some cool things about the sequel trilogy that I've liked, such as the scenes where Rey and Kylo are like communicating, and how that was like their fight in the last film,
Oh
how
yeah.
like they would fight, but they're in different locations the whole time. Stuff like that's creative,
Yeah.
but it's the coherence that really did me in, I think, because Last Jedi, in my opinion, I think ends up being the best of the three, because it just feels like it in a weird way stands on its own the most, whereas like
I
Force
agree.
Awakens, right? Yeah, like Force Awakens was teeing something up. It felt more like an attraction at an amusement park. It felt
Mhm.
more like a pilot. And like while Last Jedi was divisive and kind of throws you off for a loop based on like what was intended from Force Awakens, perhaps, then you only get one more movie after that, and
Yeah.
and as opposed to this feeling like a show, where like if you had 12 episodes, perhaps,
Yeah.
to tell what you got to tell. So that short-sightedness is really what I guess I have the most beef with, because that last movie, though it is the most original of the three, I will say it is not good. But
Yeah. As much as I like The Last Jedi, I didn't like that whole um flying through space aspect
yeah.
for Princess Leia.
Oh God, yeah, the Mary Poppins thing.
Yeah, that was a little strange.
That was strange. But yeah, it's all in all, as I stressed last week, I think things like Andor, things like Mandalorian, that really try to help push the envelope and just expand the story and the lore and different like flavors of what Star Wars could be is. And I never thought I would have said it, is like enough for me to redeem anything that Disney's done wrong up to this point.
Mhm.
That, and I'm also just, we're all kind of in a post burnout Star Wars phase anyways. So
I think so, yeah. So
yeah,
do you think that Star Wars was initially meant for children?
I think so. I
Yeah.
think I think it's like adults will appreciate it too, because
Mhm.
again, the allegory, like everyone in the Empire has a British accent for a reason,
Mhm.
and um, I would just throwing out there the idea of what Jedi are supposed to kind of be an analog to the samurai class, and
Yeah.
all this kind of like Ronin Edo period type of influence, I think, that was on it. There's more films like what Hidden Fortress, I think, was the inspiration for 3PO and R2D2, following like those two serfs. I haven't seen the film, but
Yeah.
just the gist of that. I like all the influence that's there, because it definitely just grounds it with some substance you could dig your teeth into.
Mhm.
But I mean, and I don't, this is not a dig to adults who collect toys, but there's far more kids who want toys than adults. And I
True.
think him wanting merchandise rights to this from the get go, I think is evidential of him thinking that like kids are going to first and foremost eat this up. So maybe it's a mix, but I
Yeah.
think he definitely had kids in mind at the very least.
I I almost feel that it's kind of like a like any comic book movie, right? Even including the Dark Knight,
Hmm.
Christopher Nolan movie, right?
Yeah.
It's not quite a kids movie, but they know they could bank on kids purchasing toys for the movie.
Sure, sure. Funny enough, I think Dark Knight was the first because growing up in the 90s with video games, you see movie adaptations for games in there a lot.
Hmm.
I don't know if there was a Batman Begins game, but I remember looking forward to the Dark Knight game, and I think they stopped that then because or that trend, or maybe Nolan was just like, that one felt maybe a little too dark for him to explore, or
Yeah.
too uh, capitalistic. I don't know. But another iconic film, all the same.
Did you have another choice too, or do you want to?
I will say I did think of while talking about when we were discussing other people's favorites, Mad Max Fury Road came to mind.
It's a good movie.
As Yeah, it's a great film. I talk about integrity. I withheld watching that because I wanted to see the first three beforehand, and as a
Mm,
result, I missed it in theaters. But I swore to myself after seeing that trailer in 2014, I think 15, that I could only see this if it's in a theater.
yeah.
And opportunities came and went, but it wasn't until spring of 2024. Coincidentally, just as the Furiosa prequel was coming out, which gave me a very unique opportunity to kind of see Fury Road as a direct sequel to that, versus like all that irony, dramatic irony of like, oh, this thing is this.
Yeah.
It's eventually going to be bad. So I got to see it in a linear format. And like, while obviously Fury Road is better, it's so amazing coming into that experience. And actually, I saw that with Stephen Joseph Craig. Shout out to Stephen Joseph Craig.
Yeah.
And it was without hyperbole one of the greatest movies I've ever seen on its own. It's so fucking good. Totally worth it. Yeah. What's yours? What's your films?
So I'll kind of. So okay, I kind of lied. I just looked at my list right now. I did add Dark Knight as a
Oh, you did?
honorable mention. Um, but I'm going to kind of group it with another one on that list. Exorcist is also on that honorable mention.
Nice.
Um, so the reason I added both of those is because they became benchmark films for those
Hmm.
genres.
Hmm.
Anytime you have a horror movie that comes out, it's always compared to Exorcist. It's like the scariest movie since Exorcists or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of yeah, it's before Exorcists and after Exorcists, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean that I could agree with that. I actually didn't see Exorcist until like a year ago before the sequel,
What'd you think?
a sequel. Uh well, pretty damn good, but that opening sequence where he's like having to stare off with the statue is so fucking tense and so good. I was like, I'm in it for a treat here.
Yeah.
Um Man, that sequel was a real letdown though.
By the way, if you like that sequel, it's okay.
No, it's not. No,
We
I'm
have
kidding. I'm kidding. No, it's fine. We're all entitled to our opinions.
But yeah, even Dark Knight, there's before
Yeah,
Dark Knight for comic book movies and there's after Dark Knight.
couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
That, and funny enough, not to cut you off, Iron Man came out the same year, which was the dawn of the MCU.
There you go. Well, even
Yeah.
Iron Man is kind of there too. But
Yeah.
Dark Knight came out and it just kind of like eclipsed it.
Oh yeah. It's like if Iron Man was like how do you put it? Iron Man is like pop, and Dark Knight is like, I don't know, grunge metal. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it has more edge to it, has more
Totally.
depth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
So my main pick was Jurassic Park, directed by Steven Spielberg, based off a novel by Michael Crichton, screenplay by Michael Crichton and David Koepp, starring Laura Dern as Ellie Sattler, Sam Neill as Alan Grant, Jeff Goldblum as Ian Malcolm, Richard Attenborough as Hammond, Joseph Mosello as Tim, Ariana Richards as Lex, Wayne Knight as Dennis Nedry, Samuel Jackson as John Ray Arnold. I chose it because it had a great balance of horror, adventure, thriller, drama, and sci-fi. The CGI was amazing. Watching it for the first time felt wondrous. For a second, you almost forget that dinosaurs aren't currently living creatures. They felt real. Spawned 9 theme park attractions, mostly at Universal parks all over the world, and also 6 released feature film sequels were spawned from that as well. I just remember watching Jurassic Park as a kid, and when you see the dinosaur for the first time, as Dr. Grant and Sattler are looking in awe at this
Hmm.
dinosaur, I felt I was doing the same thing in a
Yeah.
movie theater. And there's not a lot of movies that do that, you know? So to me, Jurassic Park is like one of my first loves in cinema. And then also I remember I was in band and we played the theme song for our marching our marching band. Um,
Nice.
oh no,
Wait,
I
wait.
think it was our field show. Sorry,
The ending theme or the theme you see with the Brachiosaurus?
I think it's the theme you see with the Brachiosaurus.
Okay, cool. That's a great one.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, that movie is wondrous, and I don't say that about a lot of movies. Maybe like E.T. is there as well, but
Mm.
yeah, great movie. What do you think about it?
Well, I mean, it's hard to go wrong when you have a such a talented filmmaker, for lack of a better term. I mean, Spielberg, he was definitely, I don't want to say he was at his peak, but like, oh my gosh, he came off of what, E.T. prior to this. He's done 3 Indiana Joneses, I think, by
Yeah,
then. Um, I think he was tapped to do at one point he was tapped to do Star Wars, I think. Well,
really.
maybe. I think Lynch was also tapped to do Return of the Jedi, but I don't want to
Well,
get off topic here. It's one of the most memeified movies as well, Jurassic Park.
mhm.
Um, I mean, Jeff Goldblum on its own, it just always creates a wonderful, hilarious moment. The bit where the hunter is he gets outsmarted by the raptor. Clever
Clever girl.
girl. Yeah. Funny enough, and I had a garage sale, and I don't know what sparked this, but we recreated that scene. I think it was. I'll send it to you sometime. It was so silly. Um.
The glass of water, just
Oh gosh, and the Jello, and
yeah.
like yeah, ugh, and the guy in the bathroom getting eaten. It's just so many. Oh god, a lot of great moments. I think it's one of those films though that ultimately um was like played on repeat so many times outside
Mhm,
of my control. Not like it was against my will, but like as a result, it's one of those films that feels like it's a baseline. Where as a kid, I looked forward to The Lost World because I felt like it was almost like taking the rules of the baseline film and then like exploring them further and
mm,
like doing something. It's like, you know how like in 90s ads, you see like something breaking out of like the wrapper or whatever. Like I felt like
yeah,
that's what Lost World was to me. Um, doesn't mean it is an objectively better film, but I
mhm,
also love that one a lot too. Sadly, I don't think I gravitated much with the series beyond that. I saw the third one,
yeah.
but I've yet to see any of the world movies. My brother was a huge dinosaur. Funny enough, my brother, I was the Star Wars fan, so I collected the Star Wars toys. He was the Jurassic Park fan, so he collected all the
Mhm.
dinosaur toys, and he had that trailer, and we'd always like recreate all that shit. We have it hang off the ping pong table or something.
How fun, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, man, great pick. I would say that definitely feels not just quintessential '90s film, but also quintessential Spielberg. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I told my wife that we should be, Dr. Grant and Sattler for Halloween. I think that'd
that'd
be
be
such plus an
amazing.
easy uh, easy costume too.
Did you catch? I caught it on YouTube recently. It was just like the negative scans um, of like one of the scenes in Jurassic Park. It was like one of the earlier ones where like
Mhm.
because they crop it, they intentionally cropped it for the final cut, and you could tell because like the boom's intentionally in frame at the top of it now. It like you're seeing like the edge of a light or a
I haven't
flag.
seen that, yeah.
Oh, it's cool. I'll try to dig that up and send it over. It's fascinating. And then every time I see Disney being like, "We're going to give you more information above and below the frame now," and Disney Plus, I'm like, "Did we need it? I don't know."
No, not at all. Yeah, but Yeah, I love that movie. Did you have any others to kind of talk about? I mean, I think those are all mine, really.
Yeah. As far as most iconic, I mean, I think between Star Wars and Jurassic Park, it's almost like you covered the gambit in terms
Yeah,
of it doesn't get there's iconic films, but I feel like based on our the American like cultural zeitgeist, maybe Indiana Jones is up there, but I wasn't the biggest
yeah,
Indy fan, to be honest. I respect it. Another iconic film, though,
mhm.
I got to throw in there, Die Hard, the first Die Hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep,
The ongoing debate of whether or not it's a Christmas film, I think speaks for itself on where it stands in the pantheon of time.
Do you think it's a Christmas film?
Sure, why not? What do you think?
I think so. I wouldn't initially think that, but I mean, the whole thing is during Christmas, and there's a lot of Christmassy
Yeah,
things happening
sure.
ish.
Yeah, there's
Decorations, I guess.
there's
That's pretty much it.
yeah, like what is Christmas? Maybe that's what the deeper
Yeah,
questions that it tries to bring up. Like what do we define as a Christmas film? Um,
yeah. By the way, the next episode's going to be what is the most Christmas? Sorry, go ahead.
oh no way,
No, I'm kidding.
awesome.
No, I'm
Oh,
kidding.
I would say a Christmas Story would answer that question. Have it or It's a Wonderful Life because I think those two play nonstop on TV, right? On
Yeah,
Christmas Day. Yeah.
true. That would probably be what the most Christmas is. There you
Yeah.
go. We already answered it. We don't have to do the episode anymore.
There you go. Take a vacation. You're
Yeah.
set now.
Well, on that note, that has been our episode. Matt, thanks for joining me on this 2 episode journey. Would you like to plug anything or give any shout outs?
I would love to. Last time I shouted out the Breakneck Film Race. This time, huh? Wha- You know, if anyone likes, oh boy, I'm gonna regret this one. If anyone likes watching video game news, there's this channel called PJ's Backlog, and he usually gives weekly episodes. He's a little fuzzy guy, and he loves talking about the latest trends in the gaming industry. And if that is something you like to kill some time with, give him a listen. He usually drops things on Fridays, and I happen to be really good friends with him. It doesn't. It's an avatar. It's a sentience thing. I don't want to get too much into it, but
Okay.
check that out. PJ's Backlog.
I want to give a
Um,
shout out too as well
please, yeah,
to Gunge, Stephen Joseph Craig's band that he's in right now. Gunge. There you go.
nice, Gunge. You've more wholesome plugs than me. Far less shameless.
No,
Um,
no, not at all.
awesome. Good
But
stuff though. This was a lot of fun though, Jose. Truly.
yeah, man, we had a good time. I think we had a good time.
I'm confirming it.
Perfect. So,
Yeah.
thank you to anyone who answered our question. Also, thank you for listening. If you're listening and want to know where to find the questions for future episodes, add best.most.pod on Instagram. Also, rate, like, comment, subscribe. I truly appreciate it. And remember, there are no guilty pleasures when it comes to music, movies, and all art preferences. Love what you love, enjoy what you enjoy. That connection, it's such a gift. Until the next time, take care and take care of each other. Bye bye.
Later.